We were lied to from our conception at birth up to our graves, our deaths. We were told, obey our narcissistic, self-entitled single mother, go to school, obey the law, and we would have our place in society. And as more and more people across all social groups are finding this to be a lie, more and more people are beginning to wake up to this gynocentric matrix and its illusion. As men, we grew up being accused of sexual abuse which we never committed. Some of us never even, the thought would never have even come to our minds. We've been accused of domestic abuse which we never committed. These false allegations caused us to lose our family and friends who suspected that they were false allegations, but the allegations itself, due to the suspicious nature of the human mind, have enough power to socially castrate us. We lost our rights as fathers, our rights to our children. Some of us lost our livelihoods, our homes, and some eventually their lives. As this growing problem became an epidemic, with government and women seemingly only more encouraged to perpetuate this hatred of men, this misandry, a small number of men quietly began to move away from mainstream society and its narrative of male hate. They began developing ideas and concepts to cope, to help sustain and eventually flourish, despite being in an encompassing matrix of gynocentric death and decay. At its pinnacle, hundreds of men from all over the world gathered on the internet, on social platforms such as Facebook, but more often than not YouTube. They began sharing their experiences with child abusive family courts, biased, unjust government agencies, and an ever toxic, prevalent nature of the evil female on male abuse. Hundreds became thousands, and the MGTOW label was born. As more and more men across all ages, races, religions and non-religions asserted their presence, an inevitable rot began to set in as toxic mainstream ideas and old hatreds crept in from ignorant men freshly from the plantation, firmly plugged into the matrix and happy about it. So the monk term was coined to distinguish those who practice MGTOW from those who just wanted the label but keep their old lifestyle. Which brings us to today. Now, we all have our friends, our associates, our colleagues. This is not what I mean by tribalists. This is not what is meant by tribalists in this. Tribalists are people who call to nationalism, patriotism for the cause of war, killing, death, i.e. we are one tribe and they are another tribe. We must kill that tribe. Because we call ourselves one name and we shall call them another name. Even though they might not call themselves that, we shall group them in that tribe. Now, normally this takes the form of white supremacy, now added with the black, religious tribes, i.e. we are atheists, we must kill religious people. We are Americans, we must kill Arabs, or Russians, or the Viet Cong, now Venezuelans. But that aside, what I really wanted to address is some of the PUA doing the rounds. We live in a society where words only have the meaning of the people's current understanding of the word. I'll hear people talk, and one set of people will say completely the opposite of what another group of people will say, who are speaking on exactly the same issues. Now, I'll try not to name drop, but to some of you it will be obvious who I'm referring to. But I don't want us to focus on the person on the channel, but rather on the issues, because these issues will persist regardless of whether that person or channel propagates them. So I'll try not to name drop, but there's this so-called MGTOW channel that whose name keeps popping its ugly head up, and he's not MGTOW at all. You must have heard me say back in the day when MGTOW was growing, when the label was forming, no MGTOW channel called this guy MGTOW. Not one. There wasn't a single MGTOW channel, except for himself, that referred to him as part of the MGTOW philosophy. In fact, he was called a woman. He was called many names, but no one regarded him as MGTOW, and for some reason now people are adding him into the MGTOW rota. Having certain viewpoints, having certain standpoints removes you from being a MGTOW channel. And I will just, in the short time I have, just spell out two. Now, this particular channel made a video called "Gay Guys Are Lucky," where he detailed how an alternative to a sexual life away from women was to have sex with other guys or lady boys, which completely contradicts the premise of MGTOW as a philosophy for all men, because most men are not gay. And saying that homosexuality is a choice, like choosing your favourite pizza, is about as idiotic as it can be. It completely contradicts the subject of MGTOW being for all men, and for being a philosophy away from sexual relationships with women. But that's not the worst of it. This channel went on to make a series of videos entitled "Gods of MGTOW," as if there was such a thing. Now, in his top 5, 2 of his top 5, and in fact his number 1 god of MGTOW was a woman, Ayn Rand. What type of so-called man concludes that in a men-only declared platform that the best man, to the point of being coined a god, is a wrinkly, dried up, self-obsessed, apocalyptic, violent woman? And you're including this guy, this channel, as your like top MGTOW channels. You know, stupidity is insufficient to describe this guy. There's another channel whose name repeatedly comes up as being a prominent and foundational MGTOW. Now, for me, I actually don't really care about the MGTOW label or not. I think it's become so polluted that there's no MGTOW channels left. You know, the label is dying, but the philosophy, I hope, should live on the men whose issues are taken seriously, and who take the self-change seriously. But anyway, this particular channel, he is focused on eugenics. He's a eugenicist, someone who believes that certain men are born superior to other men due to DNA factors reflected in their skin colour, their eye colour and their hair types. He, famously said that white Europeans are intellectually superior to black Africans. Now, this channel, after declaring misandry as one of West's worst problems, that feminism is a cultural Western disaster, now goes on to support these ideologies on his channel, sprouting racism and feminism using pseudoscience, pseudo-intellectual terms. In reality, he's no different to the people that he's admitted to aspiring to be like, Hitler and Geert Wilders. So, racism, a racist channel saying a man just by the colour of his skin or by the chance of his birth is worse or better than other men, because that's not what makes a man good or bad. And finally, I want to come to this issue, which seems to rear its head, is a prevalent issue, and that's MGTOW channels bringing in women, MGTOW channels trying to adapt the philosophy to incorporate women and include women in their discussions, in their channels. I mean, this really should go without saying, but men stroke channels declaring women and females having valid or credible additions to their content, podcasts, hangouts or discussions. You really have to ask yourself, where and for what purpose would you want to know a woman's opinion or point of view? And I mean, some of these guys, they're 30, 40, 50, even 60 years old, and they're saying they want to develop male solutions to problems perpetuated by women and government, and now you're trying to bring women back into the discussion. You have to ask yourself, is it that you think you'll understand women better? Is it that you think a solution can be derived involving women, so there'll be some compromise, there'll be some neutral ground? Or is it you still hanker after female validation and crave women's attention? Because when women now enter into your discussion, it's no longer a male-only discussion, is it? It's no longer men going their own way. It's men and women thinking they're going their own way. This already has a name. It's called the men's right movement. It's called men's rights advocates. There's already a thing for that. So, if you're gonna, and I'm not attacking you because you're doing it, because you go ahead, it's your channel, you do whatever you want, but by rights, you should remove that MGTOW label, and certainly you should be removing that monk label, because it's a contradiction. It's like an atheist Christian or atheist Muslim. You're either one or the other. But because nobody knows what a Christian is, nobody knows what a Muslim is, nobody knows what an atheist is, the term MGTOW or monk is lost. Nobody knows what a monk is, nobody knows what a MGTOW is anymore. Because there's no difference between a MGTOW and a non-MGTOW. You don't know the difference between a monk and a non-monk. You're just now a man. A PUA, a tribalist, a shill. You're not MGTOW, because there's no difference between you and someone who's not MGTOW. There has to be a differentiation between a MGTOW and a non-MGTOW, but you just want the label but keep your old lifestyle. You see, these PUAs, these shills, these tribalists, they're just part of your mainstream government is good, women are good, if I obey the law and listen to my single mother, I'll have friends and fuck buddies. magical thinking males.